Hi, this is a special meeting with the mayor, and we're very fortunate to have the president of UTRGV, Guy Bailey, with us. President Bailey, welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's really exciting. We have today, and welcome to our, we're out there making phone calls on Census, a telethon, and we have people right now. Some are on lunch break, but we've been calling all morning, getting pretty good response, trying to wake up the community that we need to do better on the census, and we're running out of time. So let's go do it now and not wait until September 30th, and talking about the effects that it has on our community. In a lot of ways, people don't think about it. And we were talking a little bit about the university. And by the way, what a great job you're doing with the university and what an impact that it has made, and how this census can have an effect on the progress that we've done so far.
Well, thank you. It's been a great time being here in the university. I am a 6-year resident of the Valley now, and I have already been counted. And I've been counted because it's so important for our communities. The universities live in communities. We hire people who live in communities, work in communities, we shop in communities. It's absolutely critical that our communities get the federal money that they deserve. If we don't, it weakens our communities, makes it much harder for me to hire faculty to bring in here, to recruit medical students. I mean, everything becomes harder. Not only that, it affects our representation in Congress, and this is where it affects the university so much. We're heavily dependent on having good representation in Congress. I'll give you one example. In the recent CARES Act, which came out, we received about $36 million. It was significant. It helped us through the pandemic. It helped us through very difficult economic times. We were able to do this because we had great representation in Congress. And if that representation is weakened, it weakens the ways in which Congress can positively influence the institution. So it's absolutely critical. We need that representation in Congress. It's absolutely critical.
Now, with the medical school here, it's probably even more important because so much federal money comes through health care, especially for kids and family members. And so the medical school has clinics out there, and those are somewhat supported by those people that actually attend the clinics and the federal aid that they would get.
That's exactly right. And remember that many of the people who come to our clinics can't pay. That's okay. If you can pay, we love that. If you can't pay, that's okay too. We take care of you. That's our job. But again, federal support there is absolutely crucial. And without our being appropriately counted in the census, that hurts us as we try to do our jobs there. And again, I think the whole COVID-19 pandemic illustrates the importance of a medical school. We're doing about 2,000 tests a day at maximum. We have testing all across the Valley, and again, we can't do that unless we have appropriate funding for the medical school, and we need you to be counted for that to happen.
I mean, the medical school has made such an impact on us, and nobody imagined COVID coming, but I can't imagine what we'd be like or how much worse we would be without the medical school being there and all the things that they do.
You know, if you think about it, the testing that's available, and we were able to get our testing up and running very quickly within a couple of weeks. By the end of March, we were able to do some testing. That's a difficult thing to do. Many places across the country suffered because they couldn't get testing ramped up. And again, the medical school makes that possible, and without the funding, we really can't do that.
Now the curriculum for this year is virtual, right, for almost everything at the university?
For the most part. In fact, we have only about 6% of our classes which will be on campus, and many of these are things like dissertation hours, or they're very highly specialized labs. And so when you are on campus for a highly specialized lab, not only will there be social distancing, but we'll have far fewer. So if a lab normally seats 20, we'll have maybe 5, and we'll do rotations. We'll do it, and there'll be intensive cleaning. You got to wear these masks, and these UTRGV masks are
That's a nice mask.
for free on campus. So we'll do everything in our power to ensure your safety. Most of our staff will continue to work from home, and as long as we, until things are safer. As things are safer, we'll bring people back. But
I noticed on the census when I was filling it out, if you have a student that's away, then they get counted where they are.
Yeah.
With distance learning being the norm now, so your kids may, if they went to, say, they lived in someplace else, but they're staying at, they were normally staying at UTRGV. Since they're home, they would be counted at wherever their home
that's
city
exactly
is.
right. And I should point out that our enrollment is going to be way up this fall. We think part of that is because students are staying at home, going to UTRGV instead of going to Texas Tech, Texas A&M, or some other school. Make sure those kids are counted. I mean, they're important. They're part of our citizenry, and we need to make sure they're counted.
Now, I saw a billboard that said, I know we're talking about the census, but that's a good point. And maybe kids think, hey, I can get a pretty darn good education right here close to home and save some money and all that. But I saw where UTRGV is the third, is that right, on the billboard?
Yeah, that's right. If you look at student debt, and our goal is for you to graduate with no debt. We're third in the United States for lowest student debt. And the universities above us are, I think, Princeton and Stanford, that have huge endowments. If you go to UTRGV and you're a full-time student and your family income is $95,000 or less, and you're a Texas resident, you pay no tuition or mandatory fees. So we think we have the best value of any university in the country.
So in other words, you can stay here, get on the census, and so your vote, your census count will make a difference here for a lot of programs.
That's right.
Plus, you get to go to a top-rate university, and it's the cheapest.
You may pay no tuition or fees.
Wow,
So,
that's
yeah.
a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I wish I was younger. I could go. Maybe I just could go back to school or something.
I've had a number of people from out of state ask me about this. And are you a Texas resident? That's the key thing. You just need to be a resident of Texas. And if you graduated from a Texas high school, that does it.
Yeah.
And
So now that all you UTRGV students out there, if you haven't filled out your census, you need to fill out your census.
absolutely, we need you. You'll help make our community stronger. You'll make our university better. And we really need you right now.
And the census is where you live at the time you're filling out your census. So if you haven't gone back to school at one of those other universities up north and you're home, fill out the census and you'll be right here in our own community where it counts.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great. And thank you for all the great things that you do. And anything else you want to?
No, Mayor, thank you for all your hard work, and thank you for going the extra mile on the census. It makes a big difference for all of us. McAllen's a great place to live. I live not too far from here, so I know. And we want to make this community and the Rio Grande Valley as strong as we can. We need your help to do that.
That's right. And if you have any questions on the census, remember 956-681-4900 is the one to call. There'll be somebody out here that's pretty aware of what the census is all about that can answer your questions. But fill it out. Don't wait. Do it right now. Do it today. Thank you very much.